This is the easiest way to consistently lucid dream. Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the easiest way to consistently lucid dream. I know a lot of you have been trying to lucid dream for a while, and you've been trying all the techniques, all the methods that I've been talking about, but still haven't had any success. And so I wanted to tell you the easiest way that you can start getting results in your lucid dreaming practice and make it consistent. With what we're going to be talking about, not only will you be able to consistently lucid dream, but you can even have spontaneous lucid dreams without even trying. So this means you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to do a technique, you don't have to do tons of prep. You just need to keep a dream journal and do this technique every single day. It is a habit that you can create, and if you can create a habit by doing this technique, then you can create a habit of lucid dreaming, so let's dive into it. What we're going to be talking about today is called a reality check. I'm sure most of you, or at least some of you, have heard of what a reality check is if you're in the lucid dreaming community or have been studying lucid dreaming, but not a lot of people know why or how reality checks work when it comes to lucid dreaming, so we're going to break all of that down. So what is a reality check? Well, a reality check is basically checking your reality. You're basically doing a check during the day when you're awake to check if you're dreaming or awake. If you get in the habit of doing a reality check, you're going to start doing reality checks in the dream, which means you're going to start asking yourself if you could be dreaming while you're in the dream, leading to a lucid dream. What it comes down to in a reality check is mindfulness and using your critical thinking, so really observing your environment. And if you can train yourself to observe your environment and be more critical throughout the day, you're going to carry that habit into the dream, being able to realize when you're dreaming based off the weird things that seem to happen in your dreams. So now that we kind of know what a reality check is, let's talk about why a reality check works. Why do you think we don't lucid dream every single night? Why doesn't everybody just know that they're dreaming all the time and just get lucid? Well, this is because our waking habits transfer into our dreams. So whatever habits you have during the day, you're going to start having those habits in your dreams. So this means if you're used to living on autopilot every single day and just assuming that you're awake, which most of us do that, then you're just going to assume that you're awake in every single dream and miss the chance to get lucid. So what you need to do is start pretending like you don't know for sure that you're awake when you're awake, and then you're going to start really questioning if you could be dreaming while you're in the dream, which is key. Keep in mind that this does take some time to build because you are building a new skill, you're becoming more critical and mindful of your surroundings, but keep with it because that will transfer into your dreams, which will help create a very solid lucid dreaming practice. When it comes to a reality check, there's two types of reality checks. There is a mental reality check and a physical reality check. When doing a reality check during the day, you want to make sure to do both of these to get the most out of your reality check and to make it effective. A mental reality check is asking yourselves a series of questions to determine if you are awake or dreaming. Some examples would be, how do I know that I'm awake right now? Where was I 10 minutes ago? Do I know where I am and who I'm with? Does anything seem weird about what I'm experiencing? Do I remember going to sleep last night? Asking yourselves these questions will help your brain identify what is going on in your environment. And if you create the habit of asking yourself these questions during the day, you're going to start asking them in the dream, and your brain won't be able to answer the questions. Your brain won't know where you are most likely, won't know who you're with, how you got there, and if you ask yourself where you were 10 minutes ago, your brain might remember getting ready for bed, which will tell you that you are in a dream. So this is why asking yourself questions during a reality check is important. The second type of reality check is a physical reality check. This is where you physically test your surroundings in waking life to determine if you are dreaming or awake. So let me explain it like this. The dream has a very hard time at detailed pattern recognition. So if you look at something with intense detail during the day, say your hands, the lines on your hands, and you get in the habit of checking your hands every single day when you're awake, when you're in the dream, you'll go to check your hands, but since your lines on your hands are such fine detail, your brain is going to have a very hard time creating that in the dream. And if you pay attention to your reality checks during the day, you're going to start really paying attention to them during the dream, and you're going to notice you can't see the lines in your hands, which you usually can during your reality check, which is most likely going to help you determine that you are in a dream. Another thing to mention is the dream has a very hard time at replicating what it just saw. So if you check something in your physical environment twice, it's most likely going to look different the second time, which could only mean that you are in a dream, because if you check something twice in your physical waking life, it should look the same, right? So now let's get into some examples of physical reality checks. That way we can tie the physical and the mental reality checks together to get an amazing, perfect, and efficient reality check. When it comes to a reality check, you can really use your imagination and creativity. Anything that you can physically test in your environment to check if you're awake or dreaming will do the trick. But I'm going to tell you about my most efficient and my favorite physical reality checks, and that way you can see if these ones work for you. One of my favorite physical reality checks is checking my hands, because like we said, your brain will not be able to replicate the lines on your hands if you check them in the dream, and you always have your hands with you, or you should anyways. You never want to do what they did in Inception, where they had a spinning top as a reality check, because you're not guaranteed to always have that spinning top or any object when you're in the dream, when you're going to do your reality check. So it's best to use something that you always have with you as a reality check. That way you're always guaranteed to have it in the dream when you go to do a reality check. I use my hands as a reality check in two different ways. First, I count my fingers and I make sure that I have 10. Keep in mind we're doing this during the day. That way we can create the habit of checking if we're awake, and we'll start to do that in our dreams. So I'll make sure that I have 10 fingers, and I will look away and I will look back again and make sure I have 10 fingers, and I will make sure all of the lines in my hands are there because they're supposed to be there if I am awake. So when you get in the habit of counting your fingers during the day, when you go to do that in your dream, they might look fine the first time. You might have 10 fingers like you normally should. But if you look away and look back and do the reality check again, which I highly recommend, you'll most likely have a different amount of fingers or different hands, or something will look different, which will tell you that you're in the dream. So this is why it's important to do all reality checks twice, because your dream might try to trick you the first time. So that's the first reality check I do. I count my fingers, make sure I have 10. You have to really pay close attention. I look away and I look back again. The reason why you really want to pay close attention, because if you just kind of pay attention, if you just like, okay, yeah, I have 10, you're going to start doing that in the dream and not paying attention, and you won't realize that you're dreaming. So this is why it's really important to take your reality check seriously, because whatever habits you have in waking life, you will also see in the lucid dream. Another physical reality check I really like, because it's really easy, is just poking my palm with my finger. If you get in the habit of doing this in waking life, you'll start to do this in the dream, but your finger will actually go through your palm, which is really crazy. Obviously, that tells you that you're dreaming. So during the day, I will count my fingers, check twice. Next, I will try to poke my finger through my palm. If it's solid and everything seems fine, then I will assume that I'm awake. But we're not done there. I still do one more reality check after, because in the dream, your brain might try to trick you and make you think that you're awake. So you always want to have a couple backup reality checks, just in case the first one doesn't show you that you are dreaming. The last one that I do is I just close my nose and I try to breathe in. The reason why I do that is because if you do this in the dream, you're going to be able to breathe just fine. You're not using your physical nose in the dream, you're dreaming with your mind. So if you close your nose in the dream, your physical nose isn't actually plugged because you're sleeping in bed, right? So you're going to be able to breathe just fine. So that alone will tell you that you are dreaming. So again, I will ask myself questions about my environment to confirm if I know what's happening, if I know who's around me, if I know where I am, and if I know where I was 10 minutes ago, to confirm if I was just in bed or if I'm actually awake. Next, I will do the reality checks. I will count my fingers, make sure I have 10, count twice, look back again, then I will poke my palm with my finger. I do it on both hands just to double check, and then I will plug my nose and try to breathe in. If all of those reality checks pass the test and they tell me that I am awake and they act just like they would if I was physically awake, then I have successfully confirmed that I am not dreaming. Again, this is going to take a little bit of time because you're creating a new skill, you're learning to be more mindful and critical of your environment, and ask yourself if you could be dreaming. So be patient with yourself and keep this up, because it's impossible to create a habit if we aren't consistent. What I'd recommend for you is doing this at least 10 times a day, because again, you want this habit to seep into your subconscious mind, so you start dreaming of doing reality checks, and as soon as one fails the test and you find a glitch in the dream confirming that you are dreaming, you'll be fully lucid and you can go on your crazy adventures or whatever you decide to do. So I definitely recommend practicing reality checks, because even if you don't do any techniques besides reality checks, you will be able to lucid dream just from this alone. And a quick other thing to mention is time is also kind of weird in lucid dream and letters in general. So if you want to create a reality check where you just check your phone twice, multiple times a day, you're going to start doing that in the dream, and then the time or the letters are going to be all jumbled around. It's going to be weird, and that's another way that you can tell that you are dreaming. So get creative with your reality checks, try new things that I haven't even told you, and see what works for you, because we're all different. Before you guys go, I just wanted to let you know that my 40-part lucid dreaming video course is going to be closing enrollments on April 15th, 2020. The class is almost full, so if you've been wanting to get into my lucid dreaming video course, definitely check out the link in the description so you can join the community. Definitely do that before April 15th if you are planning to. The next enrollment dates have not been announced yet and have not been decided yet, so I would definitely recommend signing up before April 15th. That way we can work one-on-one. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you. Please let me know what your favorite reality check is and what reality check you have the most success with. Please let me know what you want to see for future videos, and if you have any questions about anything that we talked about in this video, definitely leave them down in the comments and I will get back to you. Alright guys, thanks again for joining in this week's video. I love you all so much, and as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity.